Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. When we left off, the investigation is done.
We found the notebook.
We did, and we learned that Nagito's lying about just being us.
But then, we are not an ultimate.
Nope, we're just a reserve student, like he said. That was the truth.
That Byakuya wasn't actually Byakuya.
No, it was an
ultimate
imposter.
Yeah.
But
and Monami's being very serious all of a sudden.
Yeah. And then there was Monami's notebook. That wasn't actually her notebook, so
yeah.
That's an interesting fact. I'm sure a lot of us come out, but this is supposed to be the final trial. Maybe the final trial for murder. Maybe it'll work like the last game, where the last trial is really just focusing on, like,
what's going
the
on,
truth and everything. We'll see.
What if the last trial is to find out who the traitor is?
It's possible, even though you'd think that the traitor's the one that did this, because that would be the only motive.
Let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Okay.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment.
Whoa, his is like a fancy X.
It is.
It's like an actual letter X.
Yeah.
Besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
It's a very extra X, just like he was extra.
Just like he was, yeah. She's still looking like that.
Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
What?
Yes, though.
What's she gonna do in response? Oh,
whoa.
There you
She's
go.
She's still determined.
One more time. Jeez, how about this one?
Oh, that's fierce. Yeah. Oh my god, here we go with all of them.
Final blow.
Still standing there like a champ. Look at you doing something for once.
It's useless.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
You already know.
He was killed for trying to reveal the traitor. That traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
What are you thinking then, buddy?
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Oh god, the traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... God, I don't know, dude. I don't know, Hajime. We'll figure this out together. That's a lot of stuff. Jesus Christ. It's more
the
than
fact
6 balls
that the pictures are all like the heights of the characters, dude.
Yeah.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
Which means torture, really?
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Potentially, yeah. There's the torture wounds. I would agree with that.
He was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
I got it.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
No.
If so, the
I
suspect
doubt so.
is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Is there a way we could agree with
I
that?
torture someone.
I mean, you are Yakuza, so I can't say there's no way, but it's not in your bones. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito.
So let me see what it says about the torture wounds on here. That's supposed to cover a lot of stab wounds. I don't know. Let me look through this thing quick. Survival knife,
I'm
duct tape.
telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's
Sure,
because
already.
the killer tortured
Yeah.
Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat
I'm
up.
already unsure of what to
What
do.
are they trying to find out by torturing him?
Could it be the survival knife have anything to do with this? He was stabbed in his hand. It's safe to assume the wounds on Nagito's left hand were caused by this knife.
Knife is from the military base.
Duct tape. See, the one thing that throws me off about if you're torturing him and you want answers, you can't get answers if he's duct
his
tape.
yeah.
So maybe that's what we'll have to run.
Is duct tape one of
Definitely
them?
the bomb's hiding.
Yes,
Yep.
it is. So
Okay.
maybe we can go with that.
If
So
is whoever found
That was Fuyu.
we'll try this, but I'm not confident.
Yeah.
Let me see what he says again. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, the wounds was really caused by torture in the first place. But that says with the
Killer
wounds
didn't
caused
tape
by
Nagito's
torture.
mouth
But
to shut. I'm telling you, they were.
the reason Nagito's body was covered with.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
okay,
Yeah.
that is it.
No, that's
Cool.
wrong.
All right, we're on the right track.
Yep.
Here we go. Ugh.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Yep.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
He was
Instant
just he was
contradiction.
just being tortured.
Yeah, it wasn't for any answers. It was just fucking with him.
I'm prepared.
That's quick. Okay. Already. Thanks, Chief.
I
God.
just realized it. It's a trap.
What?
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Okay, Admiral Akbar. Stupid.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. All right. Torture rooms, boon rope, survival net.
Boon rope, burn
I'm
rope.
just trying to read all those so quick because I've got the slashing to do. If you can think about any of those while I'm doing
Like
this.
You said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Nope. There we go. Okay, advance.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Yeah.
Pay attention. This is how. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
I don't
After
know.
they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut.
That shouldn't be it. Oh no, that was
You
too late.
guys.
Damn it.
Thanks to me, you
Oh,
guys
God.
didn't get caught in the trap.
Because there was no blood on the tape, so they taped Nagito's mouth to get after getting information from him. True, sounds reasonable.
He's the one getting caught in a trap.
Yeah. I have to go to trouble repeating
Pay
myself.
attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured
Alright, I'm gonna use some
Nagito
duct
and
tape.
got information about the bomb's location.
Because it's the whole
Then,
fact of the
after they
blood
killed him-
splatter. I think. Right?
They duct taped his mouth shut.
No, I'm
no, it
wrong.
should have been after it. You put it. You should have done it after.
No, that's the last one.
No, after they killed him is what you should have put it
Oh.
to.
Alright, let me try again then.
Pay attention. This first, the killer tortured and got information about the bomb's location. Then,
This.
after they killed him,
Right
There we
there.
go.
Cut
Alright.
through those words.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ugh.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
No.
Don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime?
Whoa, why'd you cut her off?
I didn't
or
mean to.
something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
It was wild, man.
Yeah.
Probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Yeah.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
Yep.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Can't think of any other reason.
That was more to reveal
But
him.
who
Yeah.
could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
Maybe.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect.
Oh my
Thanks, boy.
god.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Checking for permission.
Right
God.
it is.
I love
Reason
her.
for the fire, huh? You're right, we need to clear that up first. I mean, that's the lighter slash, based on what we're going to be pushing against, that'd be the lighter plus the panels.
Yeah.
We have both of those. So I want to keep those in place.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Technically, yes.
The killer used some kind
And
of setup.
technically, yes is the best kind of yes.
He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of setup?
Are you still ignoring me?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
Yes.
They probably just threw the lighter.
No.
Now that I would disagree with.
Based
Yeah.
on the shape of that oil lighter,
Clatter, clatter,
it
clatter,
can
clatter.
stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way,
Clatter, clatter, clatter. Is someone
they
walking
just
around?
ignited the curtain.
All right, it went in.
Some way?
What? What are you doing?
What's happening?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
No.
Or
Not.
perhaps opening the door caused.
Yes.
I was gonna listen to the rest.
That was the last one.
How do you know?
The start finish bar on the right hand side.
Oh, okay.
There's a bar that actually says how far you are in the
I was like,
conversation.
Agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
So I think in the background, like Monokuma and Monami were like fighting each other.
Oh.
I think, and I assume that the thud thud or whatever the sound was Monokuma like walking over to Monami. I'll assume,
No, I don't think that's the case.
because then otherwise, then that would have been someone else walking around.
But then no, it was, I think something was being thrown, because then it's like, oh, it went in, but like,
I'm not sure.
Just as I thought,
I don't
it
know.
was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
Not quite.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
Yes.
A huge number of tipped over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right?
Yeah.
It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Yep.
Does that mean anything?
Yeah.
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Technically,
In
yes.
place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So
Yep.
when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second,
It's the most fucked up Rube Goldberg machine I've seen.
and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
How the hell did Nagito's one arm get burnt away from that pole?
You mean the rope? His arm didn't
Yeah.
get burnt. That's
well,
the strange
no, I was
thing.
mean like how did the rope burn? Because it was so
Yeah.
far away. Unless that has
But
one
wouldn't
reason
it be
for why I
obvious
died.
that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
Possibly.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
Probably the music that no one would hear them falling
Yeah.
over, I'll assume. Killers did one thing to hide a domino effect. I mean, I'll go through things that not torture wounds, that burn, arm knife, blow knife hand, nope, 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 nope.
MP3 player.
That's gonna be the only thing.
the music
so.
was blaring.
Yep.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
And many other things, possibly.
Yeah.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Then that darkness allowed him to blare throughout the warehouse
Guys,
at full
it's
volume.
so creepy.
It is.
Especially knowing what's behind that curtain now.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a con, eh?
Hey, do you guys hear something?
Yeah, it's really damn loud. Doesn't Nagito like listen to this depressing crap?
No, he's dead. No, I'm not talking about the music.
And as a funky wit suddenly started. Boom! Could you imagine that being the last thing you hear before you die? That music.
So the strange
God.
sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
I think he felt despair in that moment.
Yeah.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. Yeah, because it took so much.
No, that's not the problem.
Seriously, it'll be fine.
With those words, kind of brushed off everyone's warning slowly from the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter.
It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it.
Bye, 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 bye. Hey, it was a trap.
Yeah.
Counting on the protest with a mighty kick. Bam!
Boom, bam, wham.
So the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
How would someone have gotten out?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse. See, so the problem Jockey's talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
I see.
We're on a roll so far.
We are.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder.
Hajime? What do you mean?
Man, I think I know what's going on here. If what the assumption will be, and I kind of had the assumption too, with my own line behind it, of, you know, Hajime essentially causing this scene himself. Not Hajime, Nagito.
Yeah.
We did it, but Nagito causing it. And like, part of me is like, maybe he learned that he was the traitor, and like he couldn't take that. Maybe because he's been so deep on this whole thing of like being the key to hope and so on, and so being the traitor, maybe he felt like that was the last way that he could truly
Help
push
everyone.
forward everyone in
Yeah.
hope. I don't know, because that it's so early to have that assumption if that's correct. The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Well, we're making that assumption already. All
Yep.
right, he's just in the back. Let's go with it.
This is my answer. What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
You're
He was the
dumb.
victim. And he was the perpetrator too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
Can't rule anything out at this point, buddy.
Yeah.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget?
Maybe he did that to himself.
Exactly. He was a hell of an individual, did you know?
Yeah.
He was not normal.
Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do
Yeah.
something like that. Don't you think?
Wouldn't put it past the boy.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember?
That
Even
does
for a
make it
creep
complicated.
Like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
But there was one arm that was free.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
Kind of. But then the question has become, how would that arm have gotten, you know, stabbed down in the hand? Everything else was tied down. You can't do that.
No.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Those would be some hella talented fingers to hold the knife, flip it upside down, and pierce it through your hand.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even think of doing that with my hand.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
no.
Or
It's
he
difficult.
Or he kept the
difficult.
knife in his palm as he still used that hand. Can you imagine?
Like you said, it seems possible when you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. Which part are we going to focus on here? That's the big. There's so many things to focus on. Oh, God. Torture rooms? It could be the burned rope if we're focusing on the hand that could be free, technically.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Tap your hand, tap
That's obviously impossible.
It's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
Or if you use your front tail.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Take off.
Is that a dirty joke?
Oh my God. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right? The burnt rope's got to play a factor
your own
on
arms
here.
and legs.
That could be it.
That's obviously impossible.
Let's look at this again.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
But they weren't both tied, technically.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
I think the first one is what we have to go after.
If you use your teeth, or if you use your
dirty
Front
joke.
tail.
Is that a dirty joke?
Christ.
God.
Oh boy. All right.
To actually tie up your own arms and
Yep.
There we go.
No, that's
Look at us go.
Yeah. Though there are more contradictions than that, but we'll focus on this part.
Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
Arm.
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burn rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap, that would be his sleeve.
His sleeve,
'cause
yeah.
It's not burned at all.
I see.
His sleeve would have been
Take a close
singed
look at his right sleeve.
I would assume that rope was burned beforehand just to like
to make it look
to create
like
the illusion that he
Yep.
was tied up.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Boom, bam, wham.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome. I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Oh
Jesus,
my
that came out
God.
of nowhere.
You should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Oh my God.
So you know that's worse.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
No, that's
stop.
not the point.
I'm talking about Nagito.
God.
Oh my God.
Even if his right hand wasn't tied up,
my God.
the knife was still stabbed into
Ooh.
it, you know.
Fan service Akane coming up
Christ.
clutch.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
I never paid you. Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back. What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Hold on, let me get my Benjamins and the grabbies.
Hurry up and
Oh, I
spill it.
know. He could have put it in his other hand and then slammed his hand onto it and then laid it on the ground.
That is possible.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of it just because we have to remember now the back part of his hand that didn't get any blood on it.
Yeah,
Because if you do that, how would he keep the back part of his hand not getting
that's
the
true.
blood on it?
But that
That's
is-
going to be that is
But
a way to do it.
That is a way to get it in your hand like
but
that.
the other problem is though is that we have to go for the fact that he was holding the back of the spear in that hand actually,
Yeah,
so he wouldn't have had a free hand to hold the knife.
I don't know, man.
It was a good idea.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
That's $100,000.
Yeah.
Actually, it's $1 million. Yeah, no, I don't. A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this.
Just throw it and then boop.
He's lucky enough to pull it off.
Maybe.
If there was anything lucky in that, that was that. I didn't even look at half of the stuff that we have here for it, but let's see what we got here.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air,
Yeah.
and let the knife fall. Could he stab his hand that way?
Well, his right hand, wouldn't it?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
That's not realistic.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow
Pop the knife.
and slammed his right hand down on it?
Oof.
That's
Propped
just like
it
your
onto
thought.
What? If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
That's what I was saying.
If you're tied up, your
That'd be a
arms won't bend
contradiction
that easily.
statement, though.
We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
No, the right hand could reach the left hand.
Nagito could use his right hand to stab himself in the palm. Then how did he do it? We might have to
Even if
suck up a
Nagito's
statement
right hand
here.
was free,
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else that makes
how
sense.
could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
That voice
If he threw
crack.
the
I
knife
love
into
it.
the air
He's like, what the fuck, guys?
and let the knife fall.
I can't suck any of
Could he
those
stab
up.
his hand that
No.
way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
That's not realistic.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
Think the other way around.
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
Maybe?
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
Because that one doesn't even make
We
sense
don't
for
know if
anything, I
his
don't
left hand
think.
could even
So,
reach his right hand.
used his bound left hand. But what's that going to go to? Let's see here.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall,
I wouldn't say that
could
with
he
that
stab
one.
his hand that way?
We'd have to go with the prop-up knife one, maybe.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Not that.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
No.
No.
I didn't think it was that either.
But that'd be the only thing. That would be the only way that would go on, right?
Even
Let's
if
see.
Nagito's right hand was free, how
Let's
could he
see.
stab his right?
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing
'Cause
knife?
it was
Maybe
propped
he
up.
propped the knife and slammed his right hand down.
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
Yeah, that
If
wouldn't.
you're tied
Yeah,
up,
there's
your
nothing
arms
else I
won't
can
bend
go
that
on.
easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Is there anything about? Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Is there
What'd you
anything-
do?
I shot by accident.
I know, but like,
Single reason his legs and left arm were caused by this knife. There's nothing about it to like stand up or anything like that.
no.
Whoopsie. Right hand. All
Even
right.
if Nagito's right hand was free,
Is there anything about the Monokuma plushie? Aside from the fact that there being a hole in it.
No.
Wait.
Oh, he stuck it through there. Maybe.
That would be my only thought. As if it was stabbed.
That's his blood on it.
Yeah.
how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
I love the voice. I'm like, he's so tired of it.
Yeah.
And let the knife fall.
Not that.
This would be the
Could he stab
on
his
the
hand that way?
the propped up thing.
Is he
Yeah.
a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife.
Yep.
There we are.
we go.
Ooh-wee.
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
It's a bold
He
move.
inserted the
Yeah.
knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
Oh God.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
It'd never be that easy.
Bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing
That's very
his hand,
specific.
he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
To try and get rid of
Probably
it.
thought the fire would incinerate it
Yep.
and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
The
Lay it
spear.
on me.
The spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Yes.
If
The
you
way
think
he's
about the order,
talking.
Yeah.
Getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
Yeah.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick,
Oh my
you
God.
would die instantly.
I don't like the implications of that one.
Stop.
He's like,
Stop.
"Ah."
Stop.
Sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Oh my God, stop.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
No!
Say it one more time. I
Oh.
need you recorded.
Oh my God,
For a
dude.
reason.
That's disgusting.
Bastard, you better cut it out.
Oh, I'm with Fihik on this one.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
Nope.
Not quite.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
Yeah, I don't know who would.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Oh boy.
Monokuma sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
It is
Are you
kind of
saying
convenient.
There is a killer
but-
among us, Kazuichi?
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Oh my
my
God.
God.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
No, it wouldn't.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Oh boy.
There's evidence to back it up, too.
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
She's so smart.
And we're gonna find out what kind of way next time, and I agree.
And he's so dumb
He's
and gross.
He's something.
He's
He's something. Apparently, the free time events are supposed to redeem him, but
Really?
the main
Really?
story, Kazuichi, is not a good one. I'm just gonna be honest on
like
that one.
he could have
everybody.
better etiquette.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Oh my God, dude.